What's going down, brothers and sisters? Chris here from Namaste Gaming, bringing you the first episode of a new series called It's My First Time, in which I dive into a new game for the first time and review the new player experience so you can decide if it's worth checking out for yourselves. Today we're going to be trusting our tender gamer hearts to Torchlight 2, an action RPG developed by Runic Games, better known as that company that the dudes who made the good Diablo games started when they quit Blizzard. The aforementioned Diablo dudes are Max and Eric Schaefer, who partnered up with a feller by the name of Travis Baldry, the creator of another action RPG called Fate, to found Runic. Torchlight 2 is the second game created by the studio, and as a big fan of the first one, I've been following this game's progress for a while. From what I've seen, this game looks to do for Torchlight fans what Diablo 2 did for Diablo fans. So let's jump in. Let's take a look at the classes. We've got the Ember Mage, your standard mage archetype using elemental magic. The Berserker, which kinda looks to be a master of the smashy. The Engineer, the sorta odd man out who gets a variety pack of skills for all occasions. And the Outlander, the dual pistol packing rogue of the bunch. I'm going to go with an Engineer here. They've actually included some limited character customization this time around, so let's see if I can get what I'm looking for. Bald head, yep. No real facial hair. Looks like blonde is the closest to what I want. I guess this is the closest I can get to head like an orange. And we'll go ahead and name him K. Dilkington. Shout out to anyone who gets the reference. Now to pick a pet. Looks like quite the array. Panther, bulldog, cat, chakawary, because that's a thing. Papillon, to kill your enemies with cuteness. Ferret, hawk, and wolf. Okay. It's gonna have to be the bulldog, I think. We'll go with the spots. And to stick with the theme, we'll go ahead and name her Suzanne. Gorgeous, isn't it? Since I am no titan of gaming, we'll start with normal difficulty to avoid potential embarrassment here. Things start off with a nice little 2-minute cinematic that I've cut from the video due to time constraints. This gentlemanly figure here would like me to go warn the Asterian Enclave that trouble is on the way, and since he's plying us with XP and loot, I think we'll go ahead and handle that for him. So we can tell off the bat that the game is pretty, not exactly cutting edge with the visuals, but let's be honest. If you're expecting a $20 release made by a 33-man studio that contains more content than Diablo 3 to also push cutting-edge fidelity, you're living in a shiny unicorn rainbow land, and it's time to come down from your happy sparkle cloud and join the rest of us here in reality. Hey, I remember Ratlins. Let's see if they remember Smash! Yeah, looks like they do. Gotta love the sound of that explosive hammer skill. Definitely lets people know what time it is. While we're talking sound, the music is absolutely beautiful. And it should be, given that it's done by Matt Wyman. No, not the UFC fighter. I'm talking about the composer who did the music for the first 2 Diablo games. This guy is pretty much the Jeremy Soule of action RPGs. The combat in this game is all kinds of juicy. It just feels good. It's extremely responsive, and the spell effects are detailed and obvious. Oh, let's help this little baby buffalo out here, since he's clearly in over his head. And hey, that sweet level up satisfaction. Let's check out what we've got for skill points. There's Flame Hammer, which I've already got as my first skill. We've got a healing bot, and it looks like there are some passives at the bottom of the page here. Tankiness on that one, and this tree is for sword and board, so I can grab a shield bash or a something that makes my board help my swording. Handy that. And what a surprise, the passive in the tree for smashing things makes me smash things more often and add some stun potential. Yep, think I'll double down on smashing. Okay, found a shiny thing. Loot fountain time! Locked, you say? Maybe this guy knows something at... oh, he's dead.
Golden key, yes.
Okay, chest, you asked for this. Sweet, sweet vendor trash. I like this whole golden chest thing. Incentivizing exploration is something that more devs seem to be doing lately, and I'm a big fan of it. They work hard on these worlds, and that's wasted if we just run right through them in a straight line to the objective. Stat point distribution time. This is something I've missed in games. A stat allocation system where there's more than one or two right choices. Now, K. Dilkington is nothing if not predictable, so I'm going with a strength and vitality build. But I could easily prioritize any of the stats and still have it work out. For any of you min-maxers, the stat system goes deep into the detailed data, and doesn't really hide anything, so you can see exactly what each piece of equipment does for you and make extremely educated decisions, if that's your thing. There are multiple layers of depth, so whether you just need to know the basics or you're pulling data for spreadsheets, you can have it your way like Burger King, brother. On that note, pro tip, bros, if at any point you're not particularly pleased with any of your last 3 skill choices, you can visit this respec guru here and he'll refund your skill points. It's free right now because we're low level, but later on it starts costing money. As of right now, there's no way to completely respec, but that will likely change once the mod scene gets started. Oh yeah, so on that note, there's going to be a mod scene for this game as well. Runic is going to be releasing their Torch Ed editor sometime soon, and you can expect a good amount of user-generated content to follow. There was a decent modding scene for the original Torchlight, and thanks to Diablo 3's spectacular supernova, this game has a lot more attention on it than the first one. So yeah, let's address the elephant in the room then. How does the new player experience compare to Diablo 3? Well, I like that Torchlight 2 throws you into large fights more quickly, and it's definitely a bonus that it doesn't force you to play through the game multiple times just to play the next difficulty level. The combat, I'd say, feels very similar. Weapon attacks have a bit more chunk behind them in Diablo 3, but I prefer the more Diablo-esque pacing of Torchlight 2's combat. Funny, hey? Torchlight 2 definitely hits on a few things that Diablo 3 did wrong. For example, there's no always-online DRM built into this game, and thankfully also no real money auction house. Diablo 3 does do a better job of introducing you to their progression system with the tips and all that, but the trade-off there is that it's actually explaining a much simpler system that staggers progression over levels instead of giving a boatload of stuff every level. It's purely subjective as to which is better. At the time of recording this, linking your Steam account to your Runic account is next to impossible, so it's got one thing in common with Diablo 3 there, in that their launch prep was insufficient. Bonus points to Runic for not making us log in to play the single player though. Are you watching, Blizzard? The one area, I think, where we can discuss what is objectively better is in bang for your buck. One playthrough in Torchlight 2 is estimated at approximately 30 hours. A playthrough of D3 on Hell mode took me about 16 hours of leisurely play. Torchlight 2 is $20, Diablo 3 is $60. Torchlight 2 has mods, Diablo 3 has... real money auction house, I guess? If the game was a $60 AAA title, I'd be lukewarm on recommending it, but the awesome thing is that it's not. For $20, I'm not certain you can go wrong with it unless you hate action RPGs. For me, it's giving me that Diablo fix that D3 couldn't quite pull through on, and that's well worth the price of admission in my opinion. Now, if you've made it this far, it's super secret giveaway time! This isn't exactly a jaw-dropping mega contest, but I got a free copy of Torchlight 1 with my pre-order, and I'd like it to make its way to someone who'd be stoked about playing it. If you're hearing that description and going, hey, he's talking about me, I don't have that game and would totally play it sometimes when I'm not playing other stuff, then go ahead and leave a comment below. Any comment, just make sure you end it with SCIENCE in all caps! Exclamation point. Your name will be dropped in a totally sweet hat that I will thieve from my girlfriend for the purpose, and one moderately lucky winner will be selected against impossible odds and will be contacted here on the YouTubes to be informed of their fortune. So that wraps up the first ever episode of My First Time. Powerful first section right there. If you enjoyed it and want to see an episode like this every week, let me know by clicking the like button. And if you think I'm someone you'd like to have in your life, you can make that a reality by clicking the subscribe button in the upper left. I'm off to smash some ratlins. Love y'all. Stay black.